Hello, everybody. I think we're live. I think we're on. Looks like we're live. I have a couple announcements to make. The good news, bad news kind of stuff. That kind of scenario, if you will. So, bad news first. I'm not in the studio. So, I really love going live. 97.7, the city here out of McAllen, the McAllen Creative Incubator. I love doing that. It's a blast. Get to hang out with my buddy Joe, and we do radio. It's different in some ways, and the same in others compared to what I'm doing right now here from the Otter's lair. See, got my the Constitution, all the good stuff. You know the thing, as Joe would say, right? So bad news is I'm not there. Good news is I don't know how he did it. Joe, right now he's at a film festival, so I don't know if it has anything connected to it or whatever. But as you may or may not know, Joe Martinez from 97.7 The City, he's also a videographer. He was a DJ. He's into all kinds of the technological landscape of our time, right? So he's doing this film festival, and again, I don't know if it's connected or not, but he got us an interview for the 22nd of September. That's 2 weeks from now. Mark this in your calendar. We will be interviewing a kickboxing legend. His name's Kung Lee. Okay, 7 times world champion. Right? He's in movies like Pandorum, Tekken. I looked him up on IMDb. Ton of movies. If you're a martial arts fan, you're gonna know who this guy is, right? So we're gonna do a split screen thing. We're gonna figure that all out. We got 2 weeks to figure it out, and we're gonna get it done. Right now, I've got the video on. I've had problems in the past with latency and frames per second and stuff, but it doesn't look like anything's popping up. So if you got anything, throw it up. I'm at the desktop, so I've got the comment section right there. Come on in. You want to talk about something? I got plenty to talk about, as I usually do. But I would like to also touch on things that maybe they're not on my radar, but you all want to talk about it and maybe discuss. Or if you have some sort of argument against what it is I'm saying and why I'm saying it, please come on. We'll talk it out, figure out where we're at here. Maybe you can teach me some stuff, or I can teach you some stuff, or we both learn. That would be awesome. And our Facebook friends that are on Facebook Live right now. So I'd like to go into what we usually do. My tagline, of course: greetings, blessings, and good fortune, right? Which I hope to all of you. I want blessings for all of the people that are out there, especially the ones that know where their blessings come from. But even not, we are blessed. Let's just recognize it, right? Especially here in this great country, we are very much blessed. And gente, familia en México, bendiciones también. Here's something I want to cover first. We're going to go into many different things, but if you noticed, if you follow these things, Bitcoin kind of took another dip. It was down the 18,900 area, so it was good for me. That's a good time to buy. You might think differently. You might think, oh, it's going. I'm scared. Don't want it. No, I'm not. You don't have to agree with me, but I see it as a buying opportunity. That's me, right? So currently today, it has gone up, and Bitcoin is now at about an hour ago doing show prep. I got $19,354. So it'll take you 19,354 Federal Reserve notes to get you one Bitcoin. So which one do you think is better? Gold, 1,716 per ounce. Silver at 1878 an ounce. What a bargain. Talk about bargains. Silver at 1878 an ounce. Now, of course, you're not going to get a coin for that much because there's going to be a premium there. And the premium is rising. Why? I'll cover this again. The premium rises because the price is fixed. It's fake. It's a fraud, like most things publicly nowadays. So what they do is they manipulate the silver price on the COMEX. Okay, that's the Commodities Exchange. And that's pretty much the place where worldwide, I believe, silver is not valued. It's priced because we know the value is greater than $18.78 an ounce. So for instance, the premium on where I like to look at silver products is Texas Precious Metals, texmetals.com, right? So there you can find it's really easy because on the upper left-hand corner it says all silver products in stock. So you don't have to look through a whole sea of out of stock, out of stock. It's right there. So, for instance, the most inexpensive coin they have is called the Texas Silver Round. And they have a series of them. The 2022 series has, I think they commemorate 4 battles in the war for Texas. So the 2022 Texas Silver Round is $25.09 for one of them. Now, if you buy in bulk, you get a discount, understand. But at the same time, you can see the difference between the spot price, which is silver at $18.78 per ounce, and the 1 ounce coin, $25.09, right? So you do your math, and roughly it's a little over $7 that you're going to pay in a premium. And then you do a little more math, and you divide 17 into 18, or $7 into 1878, and you'll find that the percentage of the price that is premium, the percentage over the coin that is premium, you're going to find it rising because silver is getting rarer and rarer, okay? So just think about that. So when we talk about financial preparation, what do we talk about? Land, not going to zero. Gold, it ain't going to zero. No matter what happens financially, it's not going to zero. Silver, it's not going to zero. And the one that I always have, how would you say, lively discussion with will be Bitcoin. It's not going to zero. That's me talking. I'm not a financial advisor. Please don't take my advice. I will discuss ad infinitum till the cows come home, if you will, the price of Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin, the difference between the two, and whether or not it's going to stick around. Try me sometime. Okay. That being said, I have, now that I'm on my desktop, I can go through the different tabs that I have here set up from my show prep. So going through this tab, and I don't think I have share enabled on the live stream. So hopefully you're seeing me and I'm just reading this off. So most of you, if you're into cryptos, you know that the big boy, of course, is Bitcoin. The original, if not the original, then the one that got big quickest. So everything else that was around in 2008 and 9 is probably not around right now. But Bitcoin broke out and it's the big daddy, right? It's the original. So the second from Bitcoin has been traditionally, as far as I have looked back, is Ethereum. So a note on Ethereum, if you're not crypto savvy, Ethereum is a cryptocurrency that has so many different use cases that it's pretty much the go-to for like NFTs, for finance, any kind of thing that you can imagine a crypto can do. Ethereum at least tries. This is my estimation. If you got a beef, throw it on the comments. But anyway, Ethereum is going through a change, a metamorphosis, if you will. It's merging into a different type of format. And let me go into this real quick. There are primarily 2 formats to a cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is a proof of work format. Okay, the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain that it runs on, uses proof of work to stabilize all of the transactions, to stabilize the network itself. So there's algorithms in there and there's timing involved and all that good stuff. But suffice it to say that for a transaction to go through the blockchain network for Bitcoin and other proof of work coins, you need some sort of work for the computer. The mining computer is the one that basically hosts, vets, and maybe even sometimes challenges these transactions. That if I'm going to send Bitcoin to you, it's a transaction, it goes over to blockchain. There's going to be a computer somewhere that's going to vet that, that's going to ensure that it comes from a real place, is going to a real place, and that all things go, they follow well. So in order to get to it and to process this successfully, there are math problems and so forth. There are algorithms. There are things that the computer has to do to work to get this right. And that's my basis of knowledge. I'm not that, I'm not a coder. I can't program anything like that. But that's my understanding of it. So It's a proof of work. Somewhere, somehow, some computer has to do some form of work to get the transaction done. Okay. Now, Ethereum is, I don't know, I don't think the merge has occurred. But anyway, I believe it's now a proof of stake coin. Okay, just like Theta is a proof of stake, meaning that you can gather these coins together and stake them somewhere on the network, okay, so that it stabilizes the network. So network stabilization for Bitcoin is that bit of work that the computer has to do in the vetting process of transactions. The stabilization format for a proof of stake, like what it's going to be Ethereum and Theta, is actually having locked up coins. So when you stake a coin, in the case of Theta, it's staked and you can only unstake. You can unstake in 48 hours. So you can unstake and then 48 hours later, your coins are available to you. So that's a brief rundown of what proof of work and proof of stake is. Now Ethereum is changing its ways, so to speak. So it's transforming from a proof of work coin network to a proof of stake network, okay? So if you hear about the merge in Ethereum, that's the big news. That's what's going on right now. Other news in cryptos, and I'm just looking at my feed here. Looks like we're going pretty good. I don't see any comments yet. Any questions, whatever, throw them at me, all right? We got some things to talk about that that I think you're going to like. And again, we're going to interview Kung Lee. Man, that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, here's a good one. Russia to legalize, this is from Zero Hedge. Russia to legalize use of cryptocurrency in international trade. Isn't that amazing? So, again, I've mentioned this before. The West wants to hurt Russia. Hurt them bad because their playground, Ukraine, was invaded by Russia. Okay, I've said this before, and I'll say it again here briefly. Ukraine is the playground of the deep state, the Illuminati, the Cabal, I like to call it nowadays, and this is getting traction. I didn't invent it, but it's very good. The criminal syndicate, the international criminal syndicate, loves Ukraine because what do they do in Ukraine? The Pentagon admitted to 46 biowarfare labs in Ukraine that they were going to use to kill us all if they could, right? That's what they want to do. But they also have human trafficking rampant in Ukraine. Not to mention their own private army of, they call themselves Nazis. I don't know if they're, neo-Nazis is the term, whatever they want to call themselves. The Azov Battalion, and they're Nazis, and your tax dollars fund them. Isn't that awesome? All these billions that we're just giving away. Yeah, that's not awesome. I just wanted to be hyperbolic. So what else do they have there in Ukraine? I'm forgetting something. Oh, yeah, the Nazis are shelling a nuclear plant so that they can have it melt down. Because I guess there's not enough chaos there. Money laundering also. Yeah, guys like, I think it's Mitt Romney's got his son all up in there. Pelosi, her son's all up in there. And we all know Hunter Biden's all up in that Ukraine fraud, scandal, crime, whatever. Anyway, I digress. So, Russia's going to legalize cryptocurrency in international trade. Why would they do that? Well, because Russia and other BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and the list grows, but they're not going to add to the acronym, apparently. Anyway, the thing about what they're doing is they didn't opt out so much as they were cast out of the financial workings of the Western central bankers. The SWIFT system is what we use when we have our debit cards, right? So when we put our debit cards in at the grocery store, at the gas station, whatever, the system that takes those transactions and clears them out and runs them and sends and receives all that. It's called the SWIFT system, right? So the Western central bankers cut the Russian people and the Russian government off of the SWIFT system. Oh, wow. What happens when humans are faced with challenges? Usually, not always, depending on what generation you're in, how you were brought up, and your personal makeup, your personality, and so forth. Usually, we strive to overcome those challenges, those obstacles that get thrown in our way. And I'll tell you something, I don't know a lot about the Russian people, but I do know they have faced a lot of adversity throughout the years. I mean, so many things have happened to that country. These people are fighters, okay? They're literal fighters, generationally speaking, throughout many generations. So this little hiccup on their timeline, it's already overcome. They've already overcome these stupid sanctions, right? And they're doing it in many different ways. And cryptocurrency is going to be one of them. So not only are they bringing advantage to their people, but they're also undercutting the Western central banking system by using cryptocurrency, which is, in the case of Bitcoin, it's decentralized. The Western central bankers can't control it, okay? Like they can control the Federal Reserve note, and they can hire 87,000 IRS agents to make sure you pay more than what you want to. And they're going to make it happen. They're going to make it happen. Or they're going to try, and good guys are going to stop them. We'll see. Everything like this remains to be seen. So, what do we got next? We have, oh, here's something awesome. Oh, you haven't heard about it? Of course you haven't heard about it, because the news will never carry it. This comes from Curious Journal. Curious, spelled weirdly, Cureus. Okay, so it's a journal that posts scientific articles, medical articles, and this one is in the category of COVID-19. Okay, listen to this. This is a study. Okay, and in this study, and I'll read it again in the title, 88,000 subjects were in this study. 88,000 subjects. Listen to the headline. This is actually the title of the study. Regular use of ivermectin as prophylaxis for COVID-19 led up to a 92% reduction. I'll say that again. A 92% reduction in COVID-19 mortality rate. In a dose-response manner, results of a prospective observational study of a strictly controlled population of 88,012 subjects. Regular use of ivermectin as a prophylaxis. You just keep taking it. There are nations that give it out because it helps with so many different things. They give it out to their people. It's just, they give it out. I'm not saying like candy. I want to say it like candy. Maybe it is. I don't know. But they're taking it. And regular use of it in this study led up to a 92% reduction of deaths. Do you think that Fauci and Birch, doctors, knew about this? At least maybe not the study because it's modern, it's new, but the potential that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine have against COVID? Do you think that they know? I do. I think they know very well. I think that's why they hid it. But, oh, Otter, you're a conspiracy theorist. No. And here's, let me, and you know that I like to share my references. There's a guy out there, his name's Cliff High. And I found out about him from Bitcoin Ben, right? So Cliff High, this guy's, he's smart, okay? His dad was some general or something. And listening to a few of his videos, the things that he talks about, it's very interesting. So he was talking about the fact that conspiracy theorists aren't really theorists at all. What are we? Because I consider myself one. What are we? Well, we are people that have conclusions based on data that can point to a direction in which we can hypothesize about an issue. So there's the logic of a scientific process, the basis for scientific reasoning, thought, and process. We haven't gone up to the theory yet because most of us haven't put forth proof. On this show, I have an hour at maximum, and a lot of times I'll cut it short depending on how much news there is or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, there's no room in this time frame to show proof in order to theorize. So what we're actually doing at the utmost is hypothesizing. If not, we're coming to conclusions, which is very easy and becoming easier. So my conclusion is Fauci, Birch, everyone at the NIH, everyone at the FDA. What's the other one? The big one that we're CDC. Yeah, they all know. They know. That's why we couldn't get it during the pandemic. Anyway, that was interesting. Hopefully you're pissed at that. I don't know. I don't want to get you angry. That's not my intent. My intent is to inform you, hopefully help you understand that the world we live in is not what we're told it is. So that you can prepare for you and your family. You can prepare an escape route, if you will, for lack of a better term. Okay. Oh, this one was interesting. Again, Zero Hedge. Who benefits from U.S. government claims that the UFO threat is increasing exponentially? So if you have been paying attention, this was from Vice News in August 23rd. They tweeted this out. Vice News did. Not reputable for me. You make your own decision. So this was a tweet. Vice News. After years of revelations about strange lights in the sky, first-hand reports from Navy pilots about UFOs and governmental investigations, Congress seems to have admitted something startling in print. It doesn't believe all UFOs are man-made. Wow! They're bringing this up now. Gee, I wonder why they're bringing this up now. It's like there's an election going to happen, or they want somebody to be scared. They want people to be scared. War of the Worlds, come on. What? These clowns. So, Vice News, and then there's another tweet from, the CIA. Number one, this is a tweet from the CIA, right? Number one most read on our best of 2014 list, reports of unusual activity in the skies in the 50s. It was us. What is the CIA but a mind experiment on us, by the way. Okay, what else we got? Russia admits weaponization of gas, halts NS Nord Stream 1 shipments until sanctions lifted as EU prepares response to energy crisis. Ooh, they're wringing their hands in the EU. They're wringing their hands, ladies and gents. Why? Because Russia is not going to abide by their price caps on energy. Those damn Russians. Don't they know that when one tyrannical regime says that they're going to put a cap on Russian gas, that they need to abide? And take the sanctions from the same people that are putting a cap on how much they can charge for their oil. Yeah, that's how ridiculous it is. If you caught sarcasm, I'm glad, because it was meant that way. So the EU, the craziness of that crazy, stupid clown-run place, like ours pretty much, okay, they're going to tell Russia, hey, listen, we're going to put sanctions against you. Your people won't be able to use our technology. Your people are not going to be able to eat the way they used to eat. They're not going to be able to get imports. They're not going to be able to export their products. And you know what? We're going to put a cap on how much you can charge for your liquid natural gas, your energy to us. These people are crazy. You're not going to hear these kind of things in the news, guys. I'm gathering from places, and I'm never quiet on where I get these things. Zero Hedge is they're very good news aggregate. You got the OOMS review is pretty interesting if you're wanting to get into some crazy stuff. Not crazy stuff, but very deeply well written. Then, we have over here, let's see what the Gateway Pundit has. Yes, I do lean conservative. You call me what you want. And if you want to call me a name in the comments, let me see. Mo, you're out there. He says he can hear me. What do you got for me, Mo? What do you want to talk about? You hear me, but do you agree with me? Are you in concurrence? Or you just, you think I'm crazy, which I know you do. But, throw something out there. Oh, you can't hear me. It says you can't hear me. Wow. Let me see here. Maybe I messed up on the audio. So we'll go to the settings. We'll go to the stream. Default, it should be good. It should be good. Let's see if I need to do something. Thank you, by the way, Mo. Thank you. We will see why we can't hear. The settings seem to be locked. The settings seem to be locked. And now, auto stream latency. It says default microphone. Live. Let me see here. Let me go back to the comments. And we'll see if I can get to them. Jeepers. So here's another thing. This is what I've done to get us into a better situation as far as these live stream goes. I'm going to get, or I already did. I downloaded the software. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to get all of this on. I want to send it to my YouTube page, my website, and I'm en route to do that. I really want to do that. So we're going to figure that out. Now I'm trying to get back to where it was originally. Here we go. Okay, Marcos, he can hear me loud and clear. Mo, get the wax out, Mo. Come on, Mo. Anyway, I love you, Mo, but you're a little off. There's a volume button, I think, on your phone if you're listening on the phone or the desktop. I love you anyway. Don't worry about it. So let's continue with what we have here on the Gateway Pundit. And thanks for joining us, and thank you for throwing it in there, Marcos. I really appreciate that. So the Gateway Pundit says, and this is the headline, clueless president of the EU. We know this, right? They don't even have to add clueless. Ursula von der Leyen. Putin is using energy as a weapon. He will fail. Europe will prevail. Ma'am, not everyone is that dumb. I know you think we're that dumb. Not everyone is that dumb. So if Putin is using energy as a weapon, and he has admitted as such, I think we just went over that. What are sanctions? Isn't that a weapon? Taking them off the SWIFT system? Didn't work out for you though, did it? Isn't that a weapon? Making sure ordinary Russians can't have corporations like McDonald's or Starbucks, which of course they did overcome because now they have new and better corporations working, Russian corporations, working in the same locales as the Starbucks and the McDonald's were. See, that's when life gives us lemons and we make lemonade. The Russians are great at it. And you know what? The people in Europe are going to do it too. You and your parasite class are going to lose. Because we here in the U.S. are also going to win. Ursula von der Leyen. Come on. What do we got here? Oh, here's another butte. Figuratively. This is also the Gateway Pundit. Biden's energy secretary says California's ban on gas-powered vehicle sales is a model for the rest of the country. Okay, everybody. I know that we're watching a movie and that we're in clown world. I know this. You know this. To what extent, we all know this is debatable. But this is true. Regardless of what you may have heard, it is true that California is the model for where they want to take us. Okay? And this same state that is banning, I think by 2035, all gas-powered vehicles. This same state is warning their people that they can't charge during peak hours. They can't charge their electric vehicles. So they're forcing people out of gas-powered vehicles and then telling them that when they buy their electric vehicles, they can't charge them at certain hours in the day. And that is, as I just read the headline, a model for the rest of the country. Is anyone getting the impression that they don't want us to thrive? Is anyone getting the impression that they really have it out for us? Because you're sharing the impression that more and more of us have every single day. Next, back to zero hedge. Energy transition, a dangerous delusion, a report. So I'll just go into this real quick. I don't like to read too much. But it says, the lessons of the recent decade make it clear that solar, wind, and battery technologies cannot be surged. They cannot be surged in times of need, are neither inherently clean, nor even independent of hydrocarbons, and are not cheap. It's the summation of the whole article there. So let me break that down real quick. So they're forcing us into solar, wind, and battery power. Okay? Solar, I don't know if you've heard about this, but it fries birds. So when you got one of those solar farms and the birds fly over, it's kind of like the opposite of, or the inversion of, when you want to burn ants with a magnifying glass and you focus it, boom, kills the ant, burns up the ant. Same thing happens burning up the birds. They don't care. And it's very expensive. Wind. This is what I heard, and this goes back to Cliff High. If you want to look up Cliff High, he's very well articulated. Let's put it that way. So Cliff High explains, and I have to vet this, but I'm just going to throw it out there for you if you'd like to look this up. His stance is that, and I don't doubt it, I just, before I pass things on, I like to look at them and get at least a take on it, a perspective that I can share. But offhand, I believe it's probably true. So according to him, when they meant between gathering materials, manufacturing, shipping, installing and maintaining these huge windmills, in the life of an average windmill, because it wears out, and then you can't throw it away. What are you going to dispose of it or you can't really. So in the lifetime of this machine, this windmill, it will not produce as much electricity, as much energy as it took to create it. Don't believe me? Look it up. Okay? Not to mention that it's got hundreds of gallons of oil in there to lubricate the gears and stuff inside. Right? So you know those things got to bust loose and create leaks and all that. So yeah, it's green. Sure it is. And then battery power, right? So where does most of the lithium come from? China. Gee, I wonder if that's a coincidence. I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one from the Gateway Pundit again. Actress says she has nightmares about Tucker Carlson, and Tucker responds. I may or may not have spoken about what I think about Hollywood actors. And I can tell you that they're mostly crazy. They're on a different planet. They come from a different place. And they're completely controlled. Same with most music artists nowadays. They're controlled by gatekeepers. I can go into this. Maybe I'll do it as a theme of a show one of these days. But I'll give you one of the best content creators out there that basically will break all this down for you. It's called VigilantCitizen.com. VigilantCitizen.com. And he does a deep dive into the societies of the communities, so to speak, of Hollywood and the music industry and the gatekeepers and what these freaks have to do to stay in the club. It's just crazy. Anyway, this actress, everybody knows Jennifer Lawrence, right? Hunger Games, right? So she's just completely out of it. She apparently has nightmares. She did a Vogue interview or something, and she says that she has nightmares about Tucker Carlson. When, you know the term living rent-free in someone's head, apparently Tucker pays no rent in her head. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, if you haven't learned, there is a judge, I believe it's a female, I can't remember her first name, her name's Cannon, and she ruled in the request by Donald Trump to have a special master placed in an investigatory body placed on this raid that was done on his Mar-a-Lago home. So the Biden Justice Department, after this judge had granted this special master to investigate the matter, the Biden Justice Department appeals Judge Cannon's ruling. This is on Gateway Pundit again. So, and it has the photo of that stupidly staged photo of secret and all that they put, supposedly the FBI did. The FBI team, the same team, by the way, that lied to the FISA court, the same team that did the Russia, the same team, that these corrupt FBI top dogs, same ones, they raided his house. So you figure it out for yourself. whether it's politically motivated or not. So the Justice Department appeals. No surprise, right? Here's a good one. I should have had it in the crypto section, but here it is nonetheless. Nigeria and Binance build a blockchain hub city for blockchain projects. Wow. So I'll reiterate why I believe that unbanked, primarily unbanked countries like Nigeria and you know, like, okay, we have El Salvador. A lot of people there are unbanked. They don't have a bank account like most of us do, right? So these are the people that are going to, you know, adopt the Bitcoin quicker, because remember, when you have your Bitcoin wallet, you are the bank. Pretty much why banks hate Bitcoin, because it's decentralized. They're the polar opposite. They're centralized, right? With the privately owned Federal Reserve being the boss. So they're going to have a hub city for blockchain projects. If it's anything like El Sal's San Salvador arrangement, there are going to be, you know, benefits for people who invest in that infrastructure in that hub city. So I'll keep you updated on that. That seems like a good thing right there. We have, let me see, I made a couple notes on this. There's, again, another good place for information is Patreon. Okay, so Patreon has people that have been kicked off of the other places, or they're not paid for their content any longer, or something like that. However, this particular individual writes under the forum called Burning Bright. Okay, you can get on his mailing list. A lot of it's free. You don't have to give to him. With a lot of these others, Martin Geddes, again, Geddes, another one. Great reads, right? So this guy who does Burning Bright, okay, wrote about what happened last week. What happened last week, Otter? The red sermon happened. So the 81 million ballot getter, better said, Joe Biden, had a speech, I think it was last Thursday. And it was set up in his studio because, oh, by the way, I think everybody knows, Biden doesn't broadcast, or his team doesn't broadcast him from the White House. They have a special set that they set up, and they light it, and especially for the red sermon. They lit it up in red, and then I think it was blue on the outside. But when the camera was focused, all you saw was red. It was surreal, right? So red, and then he had, and what subsequently has been reported, were not real Marines. They were, people like to call them stolen valor, whatever you want to call it, but they were actors playing Marines behind him, two of them, in some sort of modified parade rest. So everybody knows parade rest, you put your hands behind your back and the small of your back, and you stand still. Feet shoulder width apart. These guys, I guess one of them had, the authoritarian front hand clasp or whatever. So the red and the soldiers, in this case Marines, the actors playing Marines, it set a tone for the speech. And then this guy, this resident, he went off on Trump supporters, basically saying that we are evil incarnate because we want to make America great again. MAGA, right? MAGA, whatever you want to call it. Make America great again. That's what MAGA means. Make America great again. So, like all people who take over a country, they want to demonize the patriots of that country. You can see it all around the world, be it Ukraine, be it South American countries. Remember Afghanistan, Iraq. They would immediately label terrorists anyone who wanted to go against the regime that had been propped up in their country. So we can see that as this movie unravels, and I wish I could show you. You could just look it up, Red Sermon, and you're going to see this craziness, right? So I copied down a couple things that this gentleman in Burning Bright wrote, and he really put it together well. So these are partly his words and partly mine. So I do have some quotes, but the red sermon is intended to provoke the deplorables. That was Hillary Clinton, by the way. Hillary Clinton labeled everyone that did not vote for her a deplorable. That's where that word comes from. The object is to get patriots to burn, loot, pillage, these are my words, The object is to get patriots to burn, loot, pillage, and riot the way Antifa and BLM did in the summer of 2020, just prior to the election. These things happen prior to elections. Something more is going to happen prior to November. Who knows what it is? But that's what the intent of this was, okay? And the crazy thing is, the normal media outlets that will put this kind of stuff on their network, that will broadcast it, they didn't do it. They had reruns on, they had whatever, but his biggest cheerleaders weren't broadcasting this, and that's interesting. If you have any comments and you'd like to comment on why it is you think that, throw it at me. But I might report on this again, but it's crazy, right? So the guy who wrote Burning Bright also had a pretty interesting perspective. What is going on now? And this is a quick quiz. This is from me. When Donald Trump was in office for 4 years, right, 16 to 20, when he was in office, would you say that he and his administration were on the offense or on the defense? I would say publicly they were on the defense. They were attacked every single day from his pressers that he actually did, and he actually let them ask him questions, unlike the resident. So he was attacked from all media outlets, mainstream media. He was attacked in the press conferences. He was attacked from other politicians, Republican and Democrat, right? So he was always, responding to things and, on the defense. Who's on the defense now? In power. And the media is owned by them. The deep state, the criminal syndicate. They're on the defense. This red sermon screams of desperation. See, what they really want to do is they want to get patriots to do what their paid henchmen did in 2020. So that they can say, look, these MAGA people, they're insane. They're burning down businesses. They're burning down banks. They're burning down all these shops. These neighborhoods are going up in flames because of MAGA people, patriots. Well, let me tell you something. We're not going to do that. We don't do that. That's private property. Someone worked for that business. Okay? We're not going to burn it down. We're not going to be in the streets. We have jobs to go to. We're not going to be doing that stuff. In no way will we do that stuff. But what they will do is what they did on January 6th. They're going to have Antifa, BLM dress up as MAGA people. Dress up as Trump supporters. Oh, and then they're going to burn. And they're going to loot. And they're going to get out of jail real quick because they're not going to be identified. Like the pipe bomber at January 6th. Like Ray Epps at January 6th. Okay, these are the people that didn't go to jail. They're not in solitary confinement like Grandma who walked between the red velvet rows. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Patriots are not going to do that. Dave from X22 makes a great analogy. He says, would you expect that the patriots of the Revolutionary War, when the British were coming, would you expect that they would burn down their villages? Would you expect the patriots to burn down their neighborhoods? No, because patriots don't do that. We don't. So it's a non-starter. And we're almost done. I really appreciate all of you that we may or may not have had some technical issues. Mo. Anyway, if you're still here, I really appreciate it. And I want to go back to something that I'm really excited about. On September 22, Joe and I, mainly me, I'm gonna interview Kung Lee. I've been watching his videos. Wow, this dude's one. He's a bad dude, man. So September 22, we're gonna interview him. Anybody who's into martial arts or kickboxing, you're gonna know this guy. So we're gonna interview him. We're gonna find out, what he thinks on many different things. I heard from Joe. He's a Christian brother, so we got that going for us, right? I have, as you everyone knows, I treat this as a ministry. I'm trying to help others prepare for this financial craziness that's coming our way. Okay, So again, I'll reiterate at the end of the show. I'm about to sign out pretty soon. You have options still. Thank God we still have options. You can get out of this Federal Reserve note. You can go into land. You can go into gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying these are things that you might want to look at. You might want to look at them because your IRA might not be there when you need it. Same with Social Security and all these other things that they propped up for us and then stole our money for. So, just something to think of. Again, I want to add a positive note. I don't want anyone to be thinking, wow, Otter, I felt better before I tuned in. I don't want that. So I want to tell you and remind you, I am fully all in, optimistic that soon, the good guys, the Patriots, okay? I won't go into it more. It's worth a lot of time, and I can't get into it right now. But we're going to win. We're not going to use force. We're not going to be rioting in the streets. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Because the plan, the people that actually recruited Donald Trump, they're on this. All this is to wake people up. The Great Awakening, they call it. And what wakes people up? Pain. And we're feeling it at the gas pump. We're feeling it at the grocery store. We're feeling it when we pay our bills. We're feeling it when our dollar doesn't go anywhere anymore. We're feeling it. So if you're a normie, hopefully you wake up. Maybe turn off the news. Look elsewhere for information. Vet it through your mind. Not a news anchor. Pretty woman in a dress. Stern-looking man in a suit. They're not the arbiters of truth. Ladies and gentlemen, your mind that God gave you is the arbiter of truth. And the one I'm using, yeah, it might be off sometimes, especially my friends and family know. But I'll tell you what, I can logically articulate why I believe what I believe. And I do believe we are going to win. And we're going to win big. The time that's coming up, and I truly believe this, ladies and gentlemen, the time that's coming up is going to be an unprecedented, in our lifetime anyway, it will be unprecedented in freedom. So much so that people are going to stagger under the freedom that they have. And we that have been studying this are going to be here to help you out. Because I'll tell you what, freedom takes personal responsibility. Same with cryptocurrency, because you're the bank. So I'm looking forward to it. And I love the fact that I'm on this earth. God gave me friends, family, and people I could talk to. Thank you for listening. Until next time, have a great day. Blessings and good fortune to you. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com is my email. And see me on Facebook. Peace out.